Sexual energy is your creative energy, and it gives you the ability to create the life that you choose. Hey guys, I'm Jonathan White. I'm here to help you master your sexual energy so you can magnetize your ideal life. If you're interested in learning more about sexual mastery, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to stay notified when I release new videos and when I'm going live. Make sure you get my free ejaculation control course through the link in the video description below. Semen retention and creativity. Sexual energy is creative energy. Think about it. It's the power to birth life. When two people have sex, they have an orgasm together, they create a new human body. That's phenomenal creative power. Everything in the known universe is created by this sexual process, which is a union of opposites, right? It's a polarity, yin and yang combined, positive and negative, male and female. They combine in a lovemaking embrace and they create something new. They create new life, right? But you can express this sexual creative process in other ways than physical sex. The problem for most men is that we're conditioned by society to constantly expel our sexual energy through ejaculation. And as I'm sure a lot of you know, when you are constantly ejaculating, you start to throw out all this life force. You're literally throwing away your creative energy. And after a while, you start to dry up. You have no reserves. You have no supply of sexual energy left in your body. You're in depletion mode. You don't have this strong sexual charge anymore. You've wasted it, right? And this is when you start to get into a dead end in your life because, again, your sexual energy, it's your core vitality, it's your core energy, and it's what allows you to create. It's what allows you to manifest with. So as a man, it's extremely important to be aware of this fact that semen is the essence of your body and it should not be wasted. When you start to build up this energy by practicing semen retention, now you have this huge supply of potentially creative energy. But it's important that you practice semen in the right way. If you're just going into semen retention like a lot of guys do as a way of repressing your sexual expression and just, holding this energy in your balls in sort of a lack mindset, like, well, I'm afraid of spending it now. I don't want to give this to anyone. I don't want to release it. I'm just going to hold it here in my balls. Even that can become a contractive pattern because you're not allowing that energy to express itself. You're not allowing it to move through your body, to move through your voice, to move through your expression, right? So the path of sexual kung fu is not one of repression. It's about full expression of sexual energy, but in a different way. So that means you don't just mindlessly, obsessively, try to hold on to your semen. Like your highest goal is making sure you never ejaculate. That becomes a bit of a rigid, obsessive pattern that causes contraction in your energy field, meaning that things aren't able to flow. You may experience some negative symptoms like irritability, frustration, even pain, or potentially illness in the body. I personally didn't get into semen retention just because I wanted to retain my semen. I was studying Taoist practices. I was studying yoga. I was studying how to move energy in the body, how to build qi, how to really harmonize my health, my mind, my mood, my creativity, my happiness. And it just so happens that regulating ejaculation is an important aspect of it for men, right? But the approach of the Taoists was not to just, suppress it, just stop thinking about sex, stop, touching yourself, just don't ever engage that area of your body, right? Well, that's not a very sustainable path. And eventually when you're not using your genitals, these are your core endocrine glands and they can dry up over time and your vitality and your creativity is going to suffer. So the most holistic way in my experience is to, instead of simply suppressing your sexuality, suppressing sexual desires, you learn to engage in them in a different way, a more harmonious and holistic way, right? Because as men, we're conditioned through porn and through society to see sexuality in a certain way. It's understandable why there's a tendency to be like, okay, well, I'm either having sex in that way, masturbating to porn, and having this animalistic sex that just drains me, or the only other option is to not have sex at all. Well, there's a third path, right? There's a kind of a middle ground where you freely engage in sexual activities you please, but in a way that doesn't deplete you. How do you take a natural process like sexuality, like arousal, and turn it into something that actually benefits you? This is the Taoist approach to sexual cultivation. And in my opinion, it's a very fulfilling, balanced, and powerful approach because there's no suppression involved. Yes, you need to rewire your system, your nervous system, to experience orgasm and sex in a different way, or even masturbation if that's what you choose. But when you do that, your experience of sex, where you're able to separate orgasm from ejaculation, becomes such a higher dimension of experience. It becomes such a much more fulfilling and holistic experience because you're no longer focused on rushing into this very short-lived ejaculation, which just depletes you. You're more engaged in building chi, building sexual energy, exchanging it with your partner, getting into incredible depths of connection with your partner and with the world around you, with the natural forces of the universe. And when you learn to harness that sexual energy, that incredible charge that's built during arousal without losing it, without ejaculating, then you build a phenomenal amount of energy and store it in your body, and it supercharges you. And so practicing semen retention and conscious sexual cultivation really has the potential to supercharge your creativity. Obviously, because sexual energy is creative energy. A lot of the most prolific artists, inventors, had high amounts of sexual energy, but more importantly, they knew how to use it. They knew how to channel it properly. And that's really what it takes. So by practicing semen retention, but more importantly, allowing your sexual energy to flow in your body and in your life. Again, if you're just suppressing and obsessively like, I have to make it to day 90, I have to make it to day 200 and have to do anything to make sure that that happens. That's the most important thing. Again, that's a very contractive, obsessive pattern. But when you're instead focused on, okay, I'm making the most of the sexual energy and building it up, but how do I circulate it through my body? How do I express it in my body, express it in my relationships, in my life, in a harmonious way? And of course, there's very practical methods of doing that in the sexual Kung Fu system. You work with the Microcosmic Orbit, you work with the energy channels of the body to circulate using your mind power, the sexual energy through your body. Now you're supercharging your body, and anything you put that sexual energy into becomes charged with that sexual charge, that atomic firepower that sexual energy truly is. The power to create an entire human body, trillions and trillions of cells out of an egg and a few sperm. That's incredible creative power. So I think it's very important, if you are practicing semen retention, if you're on this path of sexual energy, to have some sort of creative outlet, because creativity is very important to us as humans. We're very creative beings. Most animals in nature, they don't have the creative faculties that we have. They don't have the ability to create art, to create music, to create, whatever it is that you're creating as a human. There's so many things we create, right? And when you're not tapping into your creativity as a human being, then often you start to suffer in your life. We all have this deep urge, this deep itch to create things in our life, right? And I think that sexual desire is an expression of that, because again, sex is inherently a creative act. It's about creating, not just physically creating a human body, which of course it can, but also creating a bond with your partner, creating a connection, creating a portal to source is really what sex is doing. Because when two polarities meet and couple, which is what happens during sex, right? Positive, negative, male, female, yin, yang, whatever. These two opposite forces meet and fuse together. They sort of neutralize each other and opens a portal to source, opens a portal to this pure creative energy, this neutral force, yuan qi, as the Taoists call it. There's yin, there's yang, there's yuan, the third invisible force, right? This is one of the reasons we all love sex so much, right? On some level, we may not be aware of it, but the fact is that it's a creative act, and we're creating this new energy within us. And then afterwards, we may go out and feel inspired. I want to create a piece of art. I want to create a song. I want to create a business. I want to help people in the world. This is how it fuels your creativity. On another level, creativity isn't just creating art, creating music, creating, building a house, something like that. Those can be expressions of creativity. But when it comes down to it, our entire life, you could say, is a art piece, right? What are you creating? What kind of life are you creating? Are you creating something new? Are you creating something inspired? Or are you simply repeating others' creations, right? Are you simply living from the information that was kind of drilled into you by your parents, by society, by your religious figures? Are you ever asking the questions of, why are things like this? And is this really what I want to continue creating in my life? Because the fact is that right now in the world, more than ever, we are creators of our reality, but we're co-creators of this sort of consensus reality, right, that we all experience. According to quantum physics, we're just living in one big simulation. Nothing is actually real. Our bodies are 99.9% empty space. So physical matter is just an illusion, right? And it's really our mind power literally manifesting the world around us. Atoms behave differently when they're being observed by a conscious being like us, right? So the very nature of reality is holographic. It's not fixed. It's very fluid. It's very liquid. So your beliefs, your actions, your feelings literally shape your reality. And again, we're all kind of playing in the sandbox together, right? But the problem in our world, for the past several hundred years, is that people haven't exactly been creating from the most inspired space, we could say, right? There's been a lot of fear. There's been a lot of suppression of the human spirit, through our media, through the poisons in our food, the poisons in our water and our air. There's a lot of factors that are suppressing our ability to create as we want. And it's not so much that we don't have the power to overcome this, but the fact is that we've been so distracted, especially this year. All the fear porn coming through the media, all this information, and when you simply accept information that comes into you without doing your own research, you're always in a bit of danger of being under control from someone, especially when that information is being presented with fear. Then you can be certain that, maybe they don't have your best interest in mind. It's a manipulation, right? So what I'm really trying to say here is that think about what you're creating, not just, as art, as music, whatever these other creative outlets you may have, but think about your life as a work of art, right? What are you creating? What kind of body are you creating by the foods you're putting in it, the exercises you're doing? What kind of mind are you creating? Where are your thoughts dwelling? What are you obsessing about? Are you focusing on fear? Are you focusing on these, old stories of lack and competition and violence? Or are you focused on inspiration, right? And creating from that? Do you create each day from inspiration? What do you want to see in the world? What kind of world would you like to live in? When you start to hold that picture in your mind, you start to ask yourself, what steps can I take today to change the world around me? Even if it's simply smiling to someone, showing random people kindness. Maybe I shouldn't just be angry and be an asshole to people, random strangers on the internet because I don't agree with their views and things like that. So understand that every thought you have, every word that comes out of your mouth, every action you do is creating the world around you. And it's our responsibility more than ever right now to be the sole creators of our reality. Again, we are literally creating our world, and we have the potential to create a brand new world, one of abundance, one of harmony, one of balance, which we haven't seen for, hundreds, maybe thousands of years on this planet, right? Well, it's time for a new golden age, my friends. And this isn't going to happen by waiting around for someone else to do it. This is only going to happen by you doing your self-work. If you're on the path of semen retention, that's a fantastic first start. But now it's okay, you know how to build up all this energy, but how do you keep it balanced? How do you put it into something beneficial and make a serious change in your life, and therefore making a serious change in the world around you? And again, when you're practicing semen retention and you're balancing yourself with meditation, you're cultivating your chi with qigong, with breath work, with yoga, whatever, balancing your energy and focusing on what you want to see in the world and taking steps toward that, then you really step into your true nature as really this fractal of divine consciousness, which we are. We are a fractal of this great universal mind, step down into a body with all these limitations to observe itself and to interact with itself. We're all fractals of one consciousness, right? Seen through our various filters and perceptions. So it's important to ask yourself, why are you practicing semen retention? Do you want to get all the girls, make all the money, have the fancy cars, These things can be fun for a little while, but overall, they're not going to fulfill you. When you're sitting in your deathbed, about to leave this world, you can't take money, you can't take women, you can't take, a Ferrari with you. None of those things will mean anything to you at that point. So it's about, what did you create in this life? What kind of karma did you create? Did you manipulate, control, take from others? Or did you give? Did you inspire? Did you help to heal the world around you? And if you want to really thrive on the semen retention path, then it's time to step up as a creator in this world. Take responsibility for your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, and learn to balance yourself and make this world a better place than it was before you came here. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. My 6-week course, Multi-Orgasmic Man, is going to be launching again soon. This course will help you learn to make semen retention a sustainable lifestyle, without suppressing your sexuality. So you'll learn how to open the energy channels of your body so you can circulate your sexual energy, have non-ejaculatory orgasms, and last for hours in bed. So I'll put more information to that in the link below. Please subscribe to my channel, give this video a like, and leave a comment below. Have a great day, my friends.